Halo, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alisti. In this video, I will explain about designing and evaluating ELT materials of listening skills. Definition: designing ELT materials of listening skill is one of the ways used by educators, teachers to create teaching materials or materials that will be delivered when teaching, using the listening methods, where students will listen to audio that has been prepared relates to learning materials. There are 5 types of listening activities that can be used in ELT materials for listening skills, that is, 1. Public announcements. One way to bring authentic listening activities into your classroom is to record a listening text in a public place. This type of listening text will have audible distraction and interference while still presenting identifiable information to your students. Try recording an announcement on a bus, subway, or planes. Then prepare your students before listening by telling them the context and ask them what they expect to hear. Play the recording for your student multiple times and then ask them to answer questions about what they hear. 2. Weather forecast. Allow students to listen to a radio weather forecast. This will challenge them to understand content without a visual clue. Apply this information by planning activities for the days or choosing what clothing to wear. 3. Songs. Present students with an incomplete set of lyrics to a popular songs. Play the song for the students, challenge them to fill in the blanks of the missing lyrics. You can play the song multiple times. This challenge students to guess at missing information in what they hear. 4. Radio commercials. Radio commercials can be used for a variety of activities. They are especially useful if they are by local and non-professional radio personalities. This text will give students exposure to realistic pronunciation, intonation, and speech. 5. Conversation. Take your students into situations where many groups of people are talking at the same time. A party or cafeteria, for example. Ask your students to eavesdrop on for conversation just enough to note the topic of conversation. Ask students to comment on if they would like to join in each of the conversation. What are the models of instructional designs? Instructional designs models are used to explain the process used to design and develop instruction. There are several models that can be used in different settings. The following are some of the most popular ones. 1. ADI models. ADI is a 5-stage process that provides guidelines to create effective training materials. Its standards for analyze, design, develop, implement, and evaluate. 2. Merrill principles of instruction. This is a task-centered approach that focuses on different ways learning can be facilitated. 3. Keynes 9 events of instruction. Keynes 9 event instruction is a systematic instructional design process that addresses the different conditions of learning. 4. Bloom taxonomy. Bloom taxonomy classifies the different skills and objectives the educator sets up for their students. 5. Dick and Serre models. This model focuses on the interrelationship between contents, instruction, and learning. 6. CAM design models. The CAM design models, which has a nonlinear structure, or a circular structure conveys that the design process in continuous cycles. Therefore, it needs constant planning, design, and evaluation to ensure quality instruction. 7. Action mapping by Katie Morse. Action mapping by Katie Morse takes a visual approach to instructional design and is popularly used in the context of business. It's a process that helps avoid information dumps and create more activity-centered training. Alright, this example question listening skills. And this key answer for the question. Evaluating language teaching and learning materials is really important in successful language teaching because it encourages us to be a reflective practitioners and actively reflect on what we need or want from materials, how they are used in practice, and to what effects. In essence, if we use materials in our teaching, EA do not use the dogma approach. The evaluation of material is vital for us to move forward, to constantly respond to our learners' needs and wants, or micro and macro context, and in doing so maintain our learners' motivation and interest. Materials evaluation may be defined as a procedure or a systematic appraisal measuring the potential value of materials on learners in relation to their objectives. Why do we evaluate materials? 1. To identify the popular and successful methods of existing materials which will help us to produce better materials. 2. To choose suitable materials for language programmers. 3. To adapt the materials to make them better suit the needs of the students and the needs of teaching. 4. To identify how successful the materials used in the classroom are. 5. To examine whether the material fulfill the prescribed course. 6. To examine the extent to which materials permit students to achieve learning objectives. 7. To identify whether the design of the material are suitable for a task-based syllabus. Dan ini kisi-kisi penilaian serta lembar observasi penilaian pengetahuan. That's all for me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.